Happy Monday. Sorry, I'm just making sure that you'll turn the sound up. How is everybody? So today I'm going to be doing a live with Hayley from the Crystal Boutique. Just chatting mental health, crystals, what they can do for our mental health, and all of that jazz. I am raising money for Papyrus, which is a prevention of suicide in young people. So there is a link in my bio. I can't remember the words. If you're able to donate. So I'm just gonna add in Hayley. It might go a little bit funny, it might cut out, but we are still here. So let me just add her in. A little bit funny. Hopefully it's working. I don't know what to do if it doesn't. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I don't know what's going on with my camera here. I'm never normally this way around, so it's a
I
bit
know.
hard.
I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, usually I just see hands. I
Yeah,
never see
just my
face.
hands.
It's just hands, not face. So, can we? For those that don't know you, can you just say who you are and what you're
Yeah,
about?
sure. So I'm Hayley. I run the Crystal Boutique. It's a shop where you can get mostly crystals, but it's also sort of other bits and pieces like stuff to help with any spiritual practice. It's not only about the kind of spiritual side of stuff, but it's more just lots and lots of really pretty crystals to show. And yeah, we go live like every Friday, and we just basically have a really good chat and try and have a bit of a laugh, and at the same time show some nice pretty things.
I love your lives on a Friday. What I do, my husband usually works on cars on a Friday night, so he's either on the drive or he's out. I get into bed, I put the telly on, and I've got my phone, and I just watch the live.
Yeah.
So I'm just laying in bed, all snuggled up, and I'm like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah, it's I know so many people that just sit, it's their time that they set aside for themselves, and they just like sit and have a cup of tea in bed or whatever, and have a little watch and stuff. It's really nice, and it's a really good vibe. There's a great community of people on there, and you know, it's just a really nice place. It makes me feel so uplifted as well, like massively. I can have a really bad day, and then I'll think, oh, do you know what? I've got to get my head in the zone, and as soon as I'm on, I
Everything
just
goes away.
feel, yeah, but I think it's as well, it's just hanging out with all these crystals and I get to touch them and stuff, so I think that also helps.
How, so how did you get into crystals? Was it something that you're always interested in, or is it just something you fell into, or?
Yeah, so when I was really young, I used to be obsessed with wanting to be an archaeologist. I just really felt drawn to doing that. And I really like just felt like that was going to be my career, and I was geared up for that. But it never really panned out. There was loads of other factors that I mean, I think the fact I looked it up on those career day things, and it said you've got to learn Arabic, and I was like, I can't even, I'm not really great at the English language, let alone others. So I was just like, it's just not going to happen for me. And work outdoors with all the sweat, and you know, and I just thought no. So I was then sort of just obsessed with kind of like fossils and buying them, and then I came across this shop when I was on holiday. It was actually in Florida, I think. And they had these like just this huge amount of crystals, and I didn't even know what they were, but they just had really cool names. So there was like Apache tears, and there was like this tiger eye, and I was like, oh, these sound like like, and they're
Amazing.
from the
Yeah.
ground, so somebody's found them, and I was just like, this is it. So I bought a bag of that. I've still got it. And I just used to get them out and used to just look at them. I didn't know what they were for. I didn't really use them for any kind of real reason. But I just had them and I kept them for years. And then I kind of didn't really go any further with it. And then I think it was just before COVID happened, my sister started getting into it again. She started bringing these things home, and I thought, what? What is this? Right, it's a rock. Right, what do you want to do with that? And like, 'cause I just sort of felt really disconnected from it.
Yeah.
And she started explaining it, and I thought, do you know what? That actually sounds like really interesting. And then it sparked this, like, I guess, memory from before, and I really started to look into it then, and I saw the change in her, and then I felt the change in myself, and I was just like, these, do you know what, there might actually be something to this. And the reason why I got into selling was actually a bit of a weird story, because
Okay.
I was walking along a river with my husband, and the river's normally murky, you can't see in it, and it's just like, it's actually right by my house.
Okay.
And for some reason, on this particular day, I walked straight up to this certain point of the river, and I looked down into it, and there was crystals in there, and I was like, how?
How?
Why are they in there? How have they got there? I need to get them. And I'd already been sort of thinking about, I'd had this huge collection that I'd been buying, and I thought about, I want to start doing this more.
Mm.
And I felt, I just saw I was led to this point in this river where I found all these crystals, and I just thought, this is a sign that I've been sent, that I need to,
To do
like,
something with
pursue.
it.
Yeah. So that's how I got into selling them as well. So yeah, it's kind of been a bit of a like stop and start journey, but I feel like at the time, probably when I was younger, I weren't ready to get
Hmm.
into the kind of the beneficial side of it. But I think it just really sparked my interest then. And it's also the same, it's happened with so many other things in my life, like music. I used to, like doing it at school, and I never picked it
Yeah.
up, and it's something that I've actually picked up like after. And I think for that reason I'm actually more into it, because
Hmm.
it's kind of linked to a past thing, but it's not been like forced
Yeah.
upon me. Not,
Yeah.
not that it
No, I
would
know
have
what you
been
mean.
like at school or something. I've not been told I've got to learn it or something like
Yeah.
it's like something that I've wanted to do myself. So, and then I got really into it. So
That's
now I've got
amazing.
about 4,000 crystals, and I'm like, oh my god.
What did you know? I mean, Emma, mummy to a small army, said to me once, "Oh, you need to watch this live. You need to watch this." I cursed the day. She was like, "Watch it." I don't know what it was. I don't understand crystals personally. I can't remember any of their names. I know that there are some that do certain things. If it looks pretty to me, I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that. And I can't, Logan. Can you see if you can reach up there? It's like a green on the crystals. It's a green tower. Yeah, that one. Can I have it for a second? So I was watching one of the lives, and this was just sitting in the background, and I was just staring at it, and I'm like, that is so pretty. Didn't know what it was, and I'm putting in the chat like, what's that thing at the back, the green turquoisey thing? Like, what is that? I like that. And then I came off the live for whatever reason. I had to put the kids to bed, and I jumped on just as you were showing this one. I
Yeah.
was like, I've got to have it. I've got to have it. And so that was the one that started it. And now I've got, I think I counted as like 13 or something.
Mm.
Yes, you can grab another one. So I don't know what is
So
this?
that's malachite with chrysocolla, and
Okay.
sometimes that's called malacola.
Okay.
But there's a lot of confusion, or there's multiple names for different crystals sometimes. But
Okay.
that one's a malachite and chrysocolla mix, and it's a very special piece. It's actually quite a rare one,
Okay.
and it is a very versatile energy. It's really good for healing in the
Okay.
body, especially deep kind of healing. If you feel like you've got things that aren't really things that get a little bit stuck, and you feel like maybe you're not even aware of them, sometimes
Mhm.
the crystals can really help to like gently let that kind of release. So it's not like a real dramatic moment that will happen when you hold a crystal. It's a very gradual process, but you can do so many like amazing things with different crystals, and that is a really good one as well. It really helps you to speak clearly, like your thoughts, your feelings and emotions, and that is also a really good release, is to be able to talk about things.
Yeah.
So like the crystals themselves are a really good kind of support network for your own feelings and your own ability to be able to heal yourself. A lot of people really don't understand crystals, and I'm happy to
Mhm.
go into that a little bit. I don't want to overwhelm like anyone, but like the main premise of the crystal is that it's an energy source that's been made from the earth, that we're energy as well, and
Mhm.
everything sort of resonates with each other. You've got a lot of blending of energies that happen. So everything in the world, even this table, this chair, like everything is vibrating. It's got an energy.
Mhm.
But with crystals, the energy has been formed sometimes billions of years ago. And more often, it's like, hundreds of thousands of years ago, these crystals have been growing in a very volatile, very um, it's a very heat, like intense
Harsh
environment.
place.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these beautiful things are formed from that, and they've been buried in the earth.
Mm.
And some just happen to work their way up to the surface. Others are mined for this reason, but there are so many gorgeous, just it's like nature's little pearl, like her
Yeah.
treasure. Mother Nature's left these treasures for us, and they all have their own energy field, so they all have their own vibrational resonance. And crystals are very different from other, like from a standard rock, for example,
Hmm.
because it has a very structured lattice. So the way that it actually forms is sort of in this pattern like formation, and that is how it becomes a crystal. And other rocks won't necessarily have that same structure.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's those things are the stuff that vibrates, that like those vibrations which some people are sensitive enough to be able to feel, some aren't. Most people will pick up a crystal and not really feel anything.
Okay.
But it's like the more time that you spend with it, the more that you kind of hang out with it.
Hmm.
um Intentions are everything. If you really would like a crystal to help with a certain thing, then it is really important to basically let that crystal know. And it kind of all sounds, sometimes it gets a little bit like woo woo, like it's just
Hmm.
like there's like some special force that comes along. But with your intentions, you can set intentions just for the day. You don't necessarily have to have a crystal when you hold it. But
Hmm.
what the intention does is it focuses the energy and the attention to where you would like it to help you. And that then reinforces it in your own mind, in your own body, and it can help you with your own healing because you've set that intention and
Okay.
you've made it like a point to say that that's what I want help with.
Hmm.
And that the more that you can work with crystals in that way, the more effective that they're going to be as well.
When
So
you say, like, sorry, holding them
yeah.
and just, is there a special way to do it, or is it literally just a case of just holding it? Do you need to, some things, I don't know, put it on your head? Or,
Yeah.
is
So
there
there are
certain.
different kind of ways you can do it.
Hmm.
So there are chakra points on your
Yeah.
body, and there's 7 main chakras down your body, and the chakra systems are the same as what you'd find if you do any yoga,
Hmm.
or there's lots of other places where they'll use the chakras, and so it's the same with crystals. You've got the 7 main ones, and they are your crown. So you've got one up
Yeah.
here, you've got one in your third eye, your throat, your heart,
Hmm.
at the top of your stomach, at the base of your stomach, and then you'll have one at the base of your spine, which is your root chakra. And though if you place a crystal that is going to resonate with that chakra point, some of them sort of work with all of them, some of them work with a specific one more than others. But if you place a crystal on that area, then it could have a more intense experience from it. So
Okay.
if you was to place an amethyst, which is the purple one, if I've got one here somewhere, so if you was to place this on your third eye
Hmm.
and sort of had a quiet meditation, sometimes I feel like it feels a little bit too far. Like
Hmm.
you've got, like, you don't have to sit in this calm, like if you're sitting and you've got screaming kids around you, but you're focused on what's going on with you,
Yeah.
then it can still work. Like it doesn't have to be this huge ritualistic
Okay.
thing. Obviously the more quieter and focused you can become,
Hmm.
then the better. But if you can do that with loads of noise around you, then it doesn't, that would work
Yeah.
for you as well. So there are, you when I say like setting intentions, there are, if you just feel like you want to put it in your hand and
Hmm.
that's how you want to like work with it, that is fine, that's cool.
Okay.
If you Some people say you need to use your power hand and your dominant hand. That's when it starts getting a little bit complicated. And
Mm.
I think as you start learning more, you can start looking into it more, and then you might start picking up more. But I think for if you're a beginner and you're not sure where to start, just holding it in your hand, whatever one feels more comfortable for you is is
Yeah.
the best one. A
Okay.
lot of what you do with crystals is actually to do with your to do with your intuition.
Hmm.
So as I was saying, there's quite a lot to learn. There's lots of like well, there's loads of different crystals, and then they come in all different
Hmm.
forms, and then there's lots of different reasons why you might want to use them, and then you've got to cleanse them. All of that is stuff that you can learn. You don't have to know that to work with crystals.
Hmm.
So if you was to pick up a crystal as a beginner and you just wanted it to help you with a specific job,
Mm-hmm.
As long as you know what that is, and that you are holding the crystal in your hand and you're beaming that, speaking it, whatever, however you want to translate that to the crystal,
Yeah.
then that is setting your intention. If
Okay.
you then wanted to sit down, have some meditation music on, get into a zone, and have some Palo Santo or incense going, then that's also okay. It's kind of a bit like you've got to do what you feel drawn to do at the time, and what you feel is gonna be sort of a more effective way of it happening. But five
Okay.
seconds, if you just wake up in the morning, you think, oh, I just really want help with this day, please, like, you know,
Yeah.
focusing for a few minutes, and then you're just moving on. That is also equally fine. I just think like people get quite often overwhelmed, and there are like way more detailed things you can do,
Mm-hmm.
but it is quite simple as well. Like you don't have to go to those kind of like deep levels
Yeah.
of working with them.
Okay. This might seem like a bit of a silly question. So my son's just bought me my latest, well, latest two, which is Groot.
Yeah,
I had to have him and a skull.
yeah,
So this might seem like a bit of a silly question, but obviously Groot and this one are very
yeah.
different. If they're chiseled or whatever it is into a design, does that affect it in any way or make it any different?
That is not like, so first of all, there's no such thing as a silly question, so please ask away. Honestly, I'm more than happy to talk through even if you think it's a daft question.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it's a really good question actually. And it's a question that a lot of people would feel is a silly question, but I'm happy to answer that. So a lot of people prefer, or some people prefer, crystals that are raw, and they
Okay.
believe that an unpolished, uncarved kind of crystal, a little bit like this, although this has been cut, this is a piece of selenite,
Yeah.
it's come straight out of the ground, and so it's been untouched, and the energy is still there. And then, so some people then think if it's not like that, and it's been carved and cut and
Yeah.
polished, then the energy may have been messed with in some way.
Okay.
um, I personally believe that if you feel drawn to a raw crystal, and I feel like that's because that's one's going to work for you.
Yeah.
But if you really love the fact that it's got a little character carving,
Mm-hmm.
the energy of the crystal is still the crystal. It's still got that lattice. It's still got that crystalline structure. It's
Okay.
still, it just,
It still has its
yeah,
powers, if you know what I
yeah.
mean.
And I believe that if it's just a case of how you feel drawn to resonate with it. So the Groot, for example, as a carving, that could bring you joy when you look at it because you love the character. So that is giving you a response to that crystal.
Okay.
And if it was a lump of rock, you might just look at it and think, well, that belongs in the garden, like that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need to be here. And therefore, you're having a very different response to it. So I think that personally, it is what you feel most connected to is the best thing for you. And that's the other thing I was going to say about being overwhelmed with choice. Where do I start? What do I get first? Like what there are loads of different reasons in the guidebook which will tell
Mm-hmm.
you, oh, please, you know, you really need this for anxiety. You really need this for sleep issues. But they're kind of like guidance pointers. They're never actually the exact response that every single person will have.
Okay.
It's just like the general agreed
Mm.
kind of feeling that you'll get when you have it from multiple people's experience. What I will always suggest as a really good idea is pick crystals not really based on what the guidebook says. So don't just go and rush and buy books and look. I would just, if you've got some crystals or if you're not sure which crystal to buy, if you like the look of a crystal, if was to show you this, for example, and you thought, oh, I love that, I
Yeah.
really love that, then to me, that's your own intuition
It's
that's
already doing,
taking over.
yeah.
And it's
I suppose
saying
what
to you,
works
that's
for
the crystal
one,
you need.
what works for one might not necessarily work for another,
Exactly.
and it's you being drawn to it.
Yes, and I think that, I mean, a lot of the people that are in my lives as well, they will feel. I think the more you start buying crystals, the more you'll get this feeling as well. And you said you had it with the Groot and the malachite, the
Mm-hmm.
Malacola tower that you had, is that you just couldn't stop looking at it, and it just was almost shouting at you like you need me and you really want
Yeah.
it. And that's the feeling, that's the calling
Okay.
that people experience when that crystal is something that you should work with, because it is something that will benefit you and will help you with your healing journey.
Okay.
And some people don't even know what they need healing
Mm.
for, but that's where the intuition, I think, is the best way to pick crystals. 100%. If you like the look of a crystal and you just feel like it's screaming at you that, oh my god, this is the one you need, then that is the one you need. And you can go and look at the guidebook later, and you can go and see what, you know, what the meaning of
Mm.
it is. But it wouldn't, I wouldn't say just go and look, oh, this one says it's good for anxiety, so I'm going to go and buy that one. Unless it's really resonating with you, then it kind of feels like it's then a bit forced, and then you're not really
Yeah.
connecting with it. So that's a good
I was
way to
just
pick the crystals.
saying, Debs, I put tumbles in my bra.
Yeah.
So is that, I suppose, keep it close to you all day, I'm assuming?
Yeah, so the best, so it's all about the energy field. So you have your own energy field. It's known as your
Yeah.
aura. And you, if you was to sort of stare just through, like past the top of somebody's head, maybe
Okay.
on a sort of plainish background, you may even see a sort of like whitish halo around them.
Okay.
And so some people could see it clearer than others, but it's a good little thing to practice
Mhm.
if you can see somebody's aura, and you can see different colors and things. But that's your own energy field, and it's actually really big. And it's kind of, the best way to describe it is if you've felt somebody walk behind you, but they're
Yeah.
not touching you, but you know that you can just feel that they're there, and you also feel uncomfortable, and you sort of
Okay.
feel like you need to move away. And that is because their energy and your energy are
Don't
sort
mix.
of not really, yeah,
Okay.
they're having a little bit of a friction battle. So you kind of feel like the urge to sort of like you need to move.
Mhm.
That is a good way of feeling that energy. Um, so with crystals, having those crystals with you, close to you in your energy field, is what is going to do the sort of blending of energies, which then balances your own energy. It helps to uplift your energy, and it can help to bring the healing to yourself and enhance your own experiences with that crystal as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be about healing. It can be about manifesting positivity. It can be about attracting, you know, stuff, abundance towards you. If you're somebody who really wants to feel like you've got a lot of luck coming your way, then crystals can help you with that. Like finding job opportunities,
Okay.
things like that. Like it doesn't necessarily have to just be with like mental health and physical health. It can be
Anything.
with anything. Yeah, there's literally a crystal for anything. I
Mhm.
think, I believe there is. I'm yet to find one that doesn't do something for something, but keeping them with you is the best thing. So in a
Okay.
pocket, but even better, a bra, because in your bra it's actually touching your skin,
Yeah.
which is the closest that it could possibly be to you. Um, and that's why it's really good to wear like bracelets, and
Awesome.
sort of jewelry and earrings and things like that. Yes.
I think this is from Emma. She got it for Christmas or
Yeah,
something.
it's a really beautiful. It looks like it's a mookaite. Yeah,
I
mookaite.
don't know, but
Lovely.
I wear it every day.
It's a really beautiful crystal mookaite. It's actually one that I was very repulsed by. I couldn't
Okay.
even look at it, and it was probably about 6 months before I got pregnant. I
Hmm.
suddenly decided that I was just in love with this crystal, and then when I looked into it, it was all to do with nurturing, motherhood. It's to do
Okay.
with sort of like the capabilities of perseverance that mothers definitely need, and you know,
Hmm.
the ability and the stamina to keep going, and it gives you that support as well, almost like you're being mothered by this
Okay.
energy. So it's like a mother supporting a
I
mother
love
energy.
that.
Yeah. And it's great as well. It gives you so much empowerment. It's great for like if you've got any kind of testy, like, you know, you want to be confident and you want to go
Yeah.
into like a job interview, for example, and you want a little bit of encouragement, but you also want the bad the not the bad attitude, but
The
the sort of,
confidence kind of like, I've
yes,
got this, let's go. Come on.
exactly. Mookaite is great for
Oh.
that as well. Really good for that.
I didn't know any of that. I
Yeah.
just it was a gift. I was like, that's really pretty. Put it on. I haven't taken it off since. But now that you said all that, I'm like, I've got someone's got my
Yeah.
back. Like, and
Yeah.
it's on my wrist. It's just someone's got my back.
Yeah. and that's the kind of comfort as well that it can bring to a lot of people. Like I see, I mean, I've got a few things here with googly eyes on because I'm obsessed, but I've also got like certain pieces of jewelry that I wear that are literally,
Mm.
I see them as an extension. Well, I see them as like my friend, like,
Yeah.
and it's almost like I'm lost without them. Like I can't, and I'm so attached to them. Like I actually broke my most favorite necklace the other day, and it's still half. It's like it's a
Mm.
piece of shungite, which is a crystal that really it's a piece of carbon actually, and it's said to be
Okay.
billions of years old. It's a very special piece, and it's said to help with things like EMF protection from electrical fields, and
Hmm.
it really helps absorb, because it's made of carbon, it helps absorb a lot of impurities and
Hmm.
toxins around you. So it's one that I wear all the time whenever I'm out, because and I broke it and I was like, oh. I took my top off and it came off with my top and smashed on the floor. I was like, oh, like I honestly, I started to cry, and I was like, I
Yeah.
can't believe I'm crying over this.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it's because I felt like I damaged my friend. Oh God, I've hurt you, and it was just, oh, it was actually really traumatic. But
Oh,
that's the
bless
kind of
you.
level of like attachment that you can end
Yeah.
up kind of getting to your favorite pieces. Like when if you do unfortunately have an accident with a favorite piece, it can feel like really devastating, because it's just like a bond you've got with this
Yeah.
piece of crystal, or this, this rock, I guess. But it's unexplainable until you've kind of felt it. But it's a really it's a really good it's a really nice thing,
Hmm.
because as you said, it makes you feel like you're comforted, and you've got
Yeah.
like a friend with you, or you've got someone's got your back, and it's that kind of energy as well.
So you're just talking about I can't remember the word that you used. Are there certain crystals? I think this might have been spoken on a live before, or you were talking showing a crystal, talking about it. Um, some of them kind of linked to the spiritual world. Like, can you get, I don't know, people through from the spiritual world with the crystal, or I know, I'm assuming there's like protection from bad spirits, but can you almost like have good spirits that come through with a crystal, or am I just making that up?
No, 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 that is completely true.
Hmm.
But I feel like with that, I don't want to panic anyone and think like if you have a crystal you're gonna start, it's
Yeah,
not a portal for all these
that's the
beings to come. Like
word portal. Yeah.
it's not gonna sort of it's not gonna sort of behave like that. Crystals can really help enhance your own spiritual psychic abilities if you would like them to. So again, it's all about that intention setting. So something like amethyst, for example,
Mm.
it's got a few different properties. So it's really good for like diffusing of anger, rage. This is really good for mental health if you feel if you just feel like you're very overwhelmed, and you feel like you need to kind of have a little bit of a calmer
Mhm.
vibrational. It's the like lavender of the flower world.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
that kind of
Okay.
energy. um and so when you have some amethyst, it diffuses all of that, and it makes you feel a lot calmer and controlled and things. It's also very protective as an energy. But if you was to want to work with it spiritually, it opens your third eye, which is
Okay.
where you would start to enhance your spiritual connection. It's sort of like a tool that you can use, not necessarily have to use, but it can help to enhance that. And I personally believe that everybody has the abilities to have psychic events happen in their life.
Yeah.
And it might not be something that you can always tap into, but it might be something that comes and goes. But I think the more you want to work with it, you can definitely use crystals to help to bring that into fruition. And like for example, I mean, I've got this ridiculously big
Hmm.
crystal ball, and there's a lot of sort of readers that will like if you go to a tarot
Yeah.
reader or things like that, or
Yeah. Yeah.
they
Yeah.
might look into a crystal ball which would be something like this, and then they might
Okay.
see messages and get things through that as well. So they're definitely tools to use if you wanted to go down that route,
Hmm.
but they're not necessarily something that if you have around you you're going to start attracting all of these kind of spirits to you. Like it's not, you're not going to wake up in the night and see Terry in the corner that you didn't know existed, and oh my god, like you're not, like it's not going to
Terry.
happen that way.
All right, Bob. How you doing?
Yeah, yeah, like oh gosh. um but yeah, the other the other thing I was going to say, I was going to show is talking about crystals as friends, was that I am obsessed with adding faces to my crystals. I've got a whole family over there. They're all my mascots for like my table, and I also sometimes just get some corkers in, which obviously need some eyes on.
I
But
love
things
it.
like this, for example, it's just I love putting these by my sink. So if I'm doing any washing up, and it's a mundane task that I really don't
Yeah,
like doing, but if I do, I'm just staring at him and he's just looking at me in shock or amazement. And this one just looks like he's being really
I love
cheeky.
it.
So these are great. And even if you're having a bad day at work and you want to put one on your desk, like it just sort of, you're just going to give it a little cheeky smile every now and then, and it just brings you up again. I just think that even if like they're not, if you don't believe it on an energetic level, they're just fun to look at. Do you know
It
what I
just
mean?
perks
So
you up a little bit. You look
yeah,
over and you're like, there's a shocked crystal staring at me, like, oh, what's
yeah,
going on?
yeah. So there, I mean, a lot, as I said, that some people feel like the whole crystal thing, it's not been proved by science, and
Yeah.
it may not be true, and but there's a lot in the world that, I mean, science is all based on theory for one.
Hmm.
Also, there's a lot of scientific fact that then actually gets out proven because the
There's constant
times move on, and
changes. Yeah, there's constant
yeah, so
changes.
it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not true. It may mean that they've just not proved it yet, but
Mm.
also it could just be, I have googlies on my desk, yes. So it could just be that it is the placebo effect,
Hmm.
which is another big thing. But do you know what, that's still having an
Fine.
effect, yeah,
If you
because
felt fine about it, then fine. I don't know why that popped up. I didn't do anything, but okay. Crack
yeah,
on.
I think they agree.
Yeah.
The spirits in
Someone,
the room agree.
yeah,
um
Bob in the corner is like, yeah, true that.
yeah, so yeah, even if it is the placebo effect, and it's all a load of nonsense, if it's still working for you, it's working, and it
100%.
doesn't, I feel
Not
like
hurting
it
anyone.
it doesn't matter,
No.
if you believe in it, you believe in it, and I believe in it with all my heart, and I've seen huge changes in my life because of it, massive changes, and a lot of positive stuff, like for example, a big change that happened to me. This is a small example, but it is a
Mm.
big bit of a bigger change. And I was selling my home, and I decided to grid my house. So this is another thing you can do with crystals. You
Okay.
can you can wear them, hold them, but you can also put them around your home. And I'd popped these little pyrite cubes in the corners of my house, and it was for the intention of to attract more money for the house, so that when people
Okay.
came around, they would start offering me higher prices than maybe what I was
Hmm.
expecting. um, so I put some in, but my son was asleep, and I couldn't put the last two in because they would have been in his
Hmm.
room. And then he woke up and the people came round to view, and I couldn't get them in time. And when they came, they offered me quite a low offer, and it was the first offer, and I thought, like,
No.
they were trying their luck,
Okay.
so definitely not. But I put these two crystals in.
Hmm.
So now I had 8 crystals. I had four upstairs, four downstairs, in the corners of the rooms of the
Yeah.
house. And then the next person that came, they offered me like £10,000 more, and then that didn't actually work out. But the next person that came offered me another 5,000 on top of that, and then the next person that came had the same amount, but were in a much better position,
Yeah.
because with houses they all fell
Oh,
through, and all,
changed and all
yeah,
sorts.
it's
Yeah.
so stressful. But it seemed like the longer they were there,
It
the better.
was,
The
yeah.
people that were coming, that I was attracting to the house to buy it, they were offering me more, and they were actually in better positions, and it all and that was just maybe coincidence, but I don't believe anything is coincidence,
No.
and it was the intention that I set when I put them there, and it worked out that way. So who cares? Because I
Doesn't
won
matter.
in
It
the
worked.
end.
It
Like,
worked for you. So whether
yeah,
it did anything or not, it did what you wanted to happen happens.
yeah, yeah, and it did happen. And I think, like, there are many small things like that people may not even notice with their crystals that are working for them.
Mm.
But it's all about reflection as well, like making sure that you are reflecting on that journey to see where you've come. And if you don't feel quite right into where you've ended up,
Hmm.
it might just be that you need to keep working or change the crystal, or use it with another crystal, and you can combine crystals in that way as well. So if you did want to have it for a specific purpose, I definitely think that they have enhanced intention, certain things, areas in my life. If I've wanted, I mean, manifestation is such a big thing, and crystals
Yeah.
really enhance that even more. So it's almost like an energy conduit for getting a more successful manifestation, or a quicker one.
Yeah.
And they're just really comforting as well. But yeah, there's other ways to use them, like in your home as well,
Mhm.
so not necessarily having to wear them. There's lots of different things you can do with crystals, and I think this is why it can get a little bit out of control when you start buying, because you think, oh, do you know what, that sounds good. And I like
Yeah.
that, and this looks nice, and oh, I want to carry one around with me, so I need a smaller one, but then I want one on my shelf so it looks nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can start then. If you get into it, it can be a little bit
Yeah. I'm in that place. Thanks, Emma. But I think I've said to you like a number of times. I've got about 13, all different ones. I don't know what they are. They're on my shelf. They're up there, but it's something that I find I look at constantly. Every time I'm just walking in that direction, I don't. They're on a shelf. There's nothing exciting there. There's no reason for me to look there, but I'm always just drawn to it. Every time I walk into the kitchen,
mm,
look over. I'm like, oh, they're chilling. Okay,
yeah.
they don't necessarily mean anything to me. There's nothing like drawing me to there must be something drawing me to
Yeah,
it, but it's just okay, multiple times a day, so they're doing
but that's
something.
I think sometimes it's nice to not have to intellectualize what's
Hmm.
going on. And I at first wanted to know, what do I use this for? What do I do that for? And now, if I just like the look of a crystal at the day, I'll just carry it around with me. And maybe at the end of the day, I might look up why,
Yeah.
if I don't know. I mean, I know a lot. I know a lot now. I've been doing this for years, but um, if I weren't sure, and I thought, "Do you know what, that's for anxiety, but I've not really been feeling anxious. So like, what else is that said to be good for? Because
Yeah.
there's multiple reasons why you could have it. It ends up being that it could just be because I like the color. But why?
Mm.
There's always
There's always a
something
reason.
that you're going on. But
Why
then,
am I looking
if I
over that
never
way?
find out, I don't mind, because I know that it's done something for me, and that's okay. Like, as well, like, it doesn't sometimes have to be worked out and figured out. Sometimes it's okay just to like them and want to carry one with you without knowing why.
Yeah.
And that's how I said earlier. Like, I always recommend, if you're looking for a certain crystal, just look at them and see which one like resonates with you, and one day it might be something completely different to another, or you might have a favorite piece that you just want with you all the time.
Yeah.
And my absolute favorite is moss agate. I can't get enough of it, and I actually only have one little piece of moss agate over there. But oh, I just would have bought, if I could carry on going, I would have just bought like 100 different
Yeah.
pieces, because they're all so different. I've got a moss agate skull here, which I'll just shows, you can have a look at what it looks like.
Oh, is it
This
that?
one isn't
Is it
mine,
like
it's
that?
something for sale. Yeah, it's something that I've got for sale, this
Oh,
one.
okay.
But yeah, this is just, I just love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and it's for abundance, connection to nature. I feel like that's what it's for me, connection to nature. I don't get out in nature
Mm.
enough. I really should. And that brings you, almost nature to you. And if you go into nature with moss agate, the connection you get is just out of this world. I mean, every time I used to carry a sphere into the woods, like,
Mhm.
deers used to just appear out. Like, I would go through the woods without it, and then I wouldn't see a deer at all. And then I'd go through with it, and there'll be deers popping up in it. It's almost like as if you're like Snow White all of a sudden, walking through the forest, singing to the birds. So, but I don't know. It just feels like you're just part. You're just more in
Okay.
tune and a part of it as well. But yeah, there was a couple. I think there was a couple of other things I wanted to say about the uses of crystals. I
Mhm.
just wrote very short notes just in case I did forget. My brain's
So
terrible.
yeah. Thing is though, you get going, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention
Yeah,
this. Oh, I want to say that. And oh,
yeah. I think maybe it was just the manifestation, which I touched on anyway.
yeah.
So, the one thing I would just say is, like, I, this is something that I really don't. feel is necessary to say some of the time. But if anyone's looking at crystals for like to replace, like it doesn't replace any kind of medical stuff, so you have to still go to your doctors or your medical professionals, and it's not something that you can start having instead of pill, like
Yeah.
whatever you need to take for your health
Yeah.
is what you need to do first and foremost. But what crystals definitely do is support your journey with that. And I see more crystals to do with like kind of the mental side, the more mind side. For me, it's definitely because it's based on energy. I feel like the way that you're even absorbing energy from your surroundings, crystals can help to clear that. So if you've gone on the tube or you've been in a busy shopping centre or something and you've just felt like you've had lots of oppressive, overwhelming energy, you've been around a lot of people, getting
Yeah.
home, you don't really want to carry that around, then add it to your home where you're resonating with all the things in there. So like having a piece of selenite at the front door, for example, and like waving it over your energy field can really help to cleanse and clear any sort of negative vibes that have come and attached themselves to you, which then you might not even know why you've woken up in a bit of a bad mood, but you just feel like you're having a bit of a weird day.
Yeah.
And that might be just because you've absorbed someone else's energy. And you know, especially if you're an empath, oh my gosh, like you need protection
Yeah.
from that massively. So again, there's kind of like there's like many different crystals can help you with many different things, but the best way to pick is always what you're drawn to. But yeah, if you did want me to run through any crystals with their specific properties, I'm more than
Yeah.
happy to do so. I know that it's probably running over time now, isn't it?
I'm happy
Oh,
to
right.
go if you're happy to go.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because I mean, I know that there's loads of different things that they say, and you say there's no kind of one size fits all. It's the book may say this is great for anxiety, but you know, someone else might go X, Y, Z for another one. So, are there any kind of like starter crystals that will go for anxiety or depression or mental health or anything like that?
Yes. So I'll go by what like the general accepted guidebook would say.
Yeah.
Is so amethyst is what I showed earlier. I've actually got a different kind of amethyst. So this is a cluster of amethyst. It's in
Yeah.
a heart shape. But so this is like a polished piece of amethyst.
Okay.
The amethyst is really good. As I said, it really helps to calm you down. So if you feel a little bit like you've got some pent up energy that's a little bit like on anger, rage, if you feel like you just need
Sorry, my son.
to chill after work because you've had a heavy day, this is really really good. And the flat pieces like this are fantastic to pop under your pillow at night.
Okay.
Whilst you're sleeping, you're kind of in a semi-meditative state anyway. You're in a much more relaxed state. You're like your heart rate lowers, everything. So having a piece of having a crystal under your bed, if you don't want to carry them around all day, it's something you don't have to, you know, remember to do. If it's in your pillowcase, best place to put it because it won't get
Yeah.
lost. Then it's going to really help you whilst you're sleeping.
Okay.
And amethyst is another one that can really enhance sleep. So this is another thing about personal experience. My personal experience is an amethyst cluster actually energizes me and it amplifies my energy. So I find
Yeah.
it really difficult.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you.
I find it very difficult to sleep with next to me.
Yeah.
However, having a piece of amethyst. Hello.
Sorry.
Hi.
He's seen my crystals and he's like, I want, but
Ah.
that is not
Ah.
happening.
So, like having a piece under your pillow, like this, for example. There's another example of a dream amethyst, but I don't have that. This for
Okay.
me would probably be better than this because this has got lots of points. It radiates lots of energy at you. So, but that loads of people swear by amethyst for sleep. They love it for sleep. They think it's the
Okay.
best one to have as a um sleep crystal,
Yeah.
basically. For me personally, I've tried it and it made me stay awake all night. I actually couldn't sleep. So that's another thing. Try them. If they don't work, doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't work. It might just mean that you needed something else. Another really good one for beginners is rose quartz.
Sorry.
Honestly, please don't apologise.
He's
I've got
bless him,
my own terror, but he's downstairs.
he's autistic and non-verbal, so he's just like and has no idea of boundaries and
Oh,
personal space. So this has just been jammed into the back of my head.
oh no.
Sorry. Yeah,
Um,
amethyst. I think I need to get some of that because I'm not sleeping well at the moment, and anxiety is always a big thing. So you just put it in the pillow and then
Yeah.
forget about it.
Yeah, put it under your pillow. Yeah, so what I used to when I used to put, because I used to put a piece of citrine under my pillow because I had quite bad IBS like pains, and I
It
put
works with
cit.
IBS as
Yeah,
well.
so this is the other thing I was going to say about physical is it does. I have used citrine for and what was the other one? Orange calcite to help with my digestive issues.
Okay.
Also, golden healer is a massive one. I've got some golden healer here. So this is what the
That's
golden healer looks like.
pretty.
It's a quartz, but it's got some limonite, which is an iron inclusion in it.
Okay.
And so golden healer, as it's the yellow chakra,
Hmm.
which is your stomach area. It's your sacral chakra. This one is really good for any upper kind of stomach. If you have cramps, if you have things like acid reflux, it can help with that.
Hmm.
I'm quite wary about just physical issues. It's not something that I actually normally go into, but
Hmm.
because there's so many people that can go, you shouldn't say that. That's not true, and
It's not
because
medically proven.
yes, yeah. So please, as I said earlier, we all know.
This
But
one's
this is,
sorry,
I've
this one wants to
placed
say
a
hi as
piece.
well.
Hello,
Right,
hi.
well done. Go have
So
Benny.
I placed this on
Max.
my stomach, and the pain and the cramping like disappeared within about 20 minutes. And then I used to sleep with it under my pillow for a number of months, and
Mm.
I mean, I don't have those issues anymore at all. So I don't need to use that anymore because
Yeah,
they've
and they've done
basically
their job.
gone. Yeah. So I definitely recommend a piece of citrine. This is another piece of citrine. This would obviously be too big to pop under your pillow, but it's definitely
Yeah.
something that you could place on your body if you were out, up and around, and you could put it in between your trousers just to hold it in place.
Logan.
Um, but yeah, back to the sort of anxiety kind of
Hmm.
crystals. Rose quartz is really good for comforting. It's
Okay.
a self-love, which a lot of people go like roll their eyes out, but it's known as the crystal
Hmm.
of love and unconditional love, and it is great for attracting more love to you,
Okay.
inviting love in, and also accepting that you are worthy of love, which I
Hmm.
think is sometimes a bit of a big struggle that not really many people understand that they actually have.
Hmm.
um we're all worthy of that, and this really helps you to believe that you actually are, like, you deserve the best. So
Yeah.
this kind of really helped that. I feel like I'm holding this, like, and I want to stand up and do a speech for women and well, for anyone, not just women, but we're all deserving of the best. So
Yeah.
like, if you don't settle for anything less, and this really makes you feel that way, and it's a comforting one. It's really good for grief. It's almost like a hug in a crystal kind of
Hmm.
feeling. It helps you to, I guess, feel more accepting of yourself, more forgiving of yourself. I think that's quite a big thing,
Hmm.
is if you felt like you've not really, like, for example, for me, I feel like I'm just eating so much rubbish at the moment,
Yeah.
but this crystal will really help me to feel like it's okay, that's okay, that you don't have to, just because you've done that now doesn't mean that you can't change
Yeah.
moving forward if you want to. Like,
Yeah.
it's just accept it and move on. So it's really good for forgiveness as well, which again can really be a big release for anything going on in your mind that's bogging
Yeah.
you down. um, the massive one for anxiety is lepidolite. This is a little piece of lepidolite. I've actually
Okay.
got a piece. Somebody bought a piece. Here we go. Somebody bought a piece on Friday, and it's a very different kind of lepidolite. So this
That's
is
shiny.
lepidolite mica, and this is a lepidolite with quartz in like a matrix. So they are quite different. The crystals come in so many different forms as
Yeah.
well. So again, it's just whatever resonates with you the most. But this one's great for anxiety. It's
Hmm.
actually got a lithium content in it, which is what a lot of the basis of mental health
Yeah.
medication for antidepressants, things like that, is lithium based, and that is what this crystal, a
Okay.
mineral in this crystal. So it's the kind. Please don't eat the crystal. just have to say that. Don't eat the crystal. It's not gonna help you. It won't help you. But yeah, this is really good for anxiety. If you feel
Okay.
like you're getting very overwhelmed, if you feel like you need a little bit more of I'd say present moment
Mhm.
brought back down, like that is really good for that, and it's really supportive in that sense.
Okay.
Um, so those were amethyst, rose quartz, and lepidolite.
Okay.
And then there's a couple of others that I'd say you should always have in a collection if you're a beginner, and that is clear quartz. Clear quartz
Mm.
is some people say the boring one, but it's definitely not, because it is called the Master Healer. It's
Yeah.
actually the one size fits all crystal. So
Okay.
if you don't know what to use a crystal for, get
Use that.
clear quartz.
Okay.
Get clear quartz. That's your initial point. If you're like, do you know what, I really need help with this problem, I just don't know what to use a clear quartz. And then from there you may then decide, oh, I want to add something else to it, and you can do that, because clear quartz actually helps to amplify the energy of other crystals. So using them
Okay.
together will then
Okay.
intensify
Yeah.
the other energies. And this is another example of clear quartz here,
Just
which is
thinking.
this
I
really,
think I have one. A ball.
yeah. So this is a really high quality
Yeah.
sphere, huge sphere, of a clear quartz sphere, and like, oh, I just love that one. That's actually for sale. It's not my piece, but it's so beautiful when you look inside. I don't know if you can even see all
Yeah.
the detail in there, but it's just mesmerizing in there. It's crazy. So clear quartz, 100% have it. It's really good for amplifying your own energy. So if you you
Mhm.
get a lot of fatigue and burnout, and you feel like you need something to help you to feel more energy, then clear
Mhm.
quartz definitely helps. If you're somebody that at 4 p.m. or just after lunch you feel like, oh, I just want to
Yeah.
go to bed,
Dipping.
get a bit of clear quartz, and it will really help to keep your energy keep like going.
Okay.
And then I'd say, just because I have them to show, I've got a sodalite, which is
Mhm.
great for bringing you down again. So if you suffer with panic attacks,
Okay.
any kind of sense of overwhelm, especially if you feel like you're unable to really explain what your issue is
Mhm.
before you start having
It just,
the
yeah, when
panic.
it just comes on.
Yeah, and so the best way to sort of deal with that is obviously to stay as calm as possible. So an amethyst would be great, but also with the sodalite, it really helps to help you to articulate what may be happening before it starts
It happens.
happening, and it helps
Okay.
then to stop that before it does and gets out of control.
Mhm.
So sodalite can really help with that. It's really supportive. I see this as like the masculine version of the lepidolite. So this
Okay.
anxiety, this is kind of like, for the panic attacks, this is like the female and the male version to
Yeah.
me. That's how it feels. But yeah, really good one for that. And it's kind of, it, it makes me feel like someone's got my
Yeah.
back with a sodalite. That's the kind of energy.
Okay.
And then two more I'll go through. One of them is this one, which is a green aventurine.
Okay.
And this is great for luck, it's great for health, and it's great for happiness.
Mhm.
So if you kind of feel like you want a little bit of luck in your way, luck coming your way,
Mhm.
if you feel like you are somebody that always gets like the worst part of the deal, or you don't ever feel like anything ever goes your way, then
Mhm.
having a piece of green aventurine can really help you to feel like you are attracting that
Okay.
luck, that health, and the happiness part. It brings you lots of joy. It's a really lovely energy, actually. I feel like it's a very underrated crystal. People kind of might have one in their collection, but they won't really go on to collect like
Mhm.
loads of it. But it's always really served me, and um, I've placed a piece of this in what's called your wealth corner, which is in feng shui,
Okay.
which is if you stand at your front door with your back to your front door,
Okay.
then the furthest left point of your home, in the left corner, is your wealth corner.
Okay.
And if you pop sort of crystals for abundance in there, then it can help you to attract luck, love, money, whatever it is that you want to bring in.
Okay.
It will really help with that. So that is a powerhouse for a wealth corner, along with the next one, which is the citrine. This is joy, happiness. This is all about positivity. It's really good for manifestation, abundance. It's some people like to use it for things like ADHD. If you've got any issues with again, like racing thoughts, overwhelm, things like that, it can kind of help to slow those down.
Okay.
But the main thing with this one, I'd say, is abundance. If you would like to attract positive energy, as in that law of attraction kind of thing, build up your energy so that you start attracting better energy towards you as well, then citrine is for sure like the best one for that. And it's so energizing, it's really uplifting. And that's a really good one if you feel like you're a little bit down in the dumps and you want to get out of it, that you feel like you've had enough of feeling like rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, you get to that point sometimes where you just like can't feel like this anymore.
Yeah.
Then get a bit of citrine and it will just definitely start uplifting that energy for you. But yeah, I mean, I've got hundreds of crystals here I could show you. This is a carnelian. That's really good for procrastination. If you need a little bit more of an empowerment, like if you need a bit of passion and oomph in your day, then that's really good for that. If you feel like you're a little bit like, I just can't be bothered, get some carnelian, because that will give you like the boot that you need. But yeah,
There is literally a crystal for everything.
yeah, this one's black tourmaline, and that's really good for absorbing negativity. It doesn't it absorbs anything that's sort of like negative. I pop this by my front door, so if I've brought in any negative
Yeah.
energy, or if anybody else has, then it kind of just stops it from entering the home, and that's a really good place to put it. And that it's just a beautiful crystal as well. So yeah, there's like for the beginners ones, just to recap, I guess, is amethyst and rose
Yeah.
quartz. That's a different rose quartz than I showed before. Some citrine and some clear quartz. They're actually all quartzes, so quartz is a great place to start. And then you've got things like lepidolite for anxiety, sodalite for panic attacks, and these are just very key points. That they do other things as well. And then that's for like your luck and happiness. And also, another thing to say is that I sell these crystals, but I also sell I pride myself on trying to get the best quality that I
Yeah.
can, for the best prices, because a lot of the time, buying crystals, if you want good crystals, you've got to pay good money for them. And so I search and hunt around for places that sell them at on deals, on discounts, on sales, and things like that. So they would have been costing a lot more, but actually I've managed to get them cheaper, which means that discount then passes on to everyone else. It's not something that then I just coin in on the profits. I end up I want to bring everything that's high quality, and at the best prices that I possibly can, while still obviously trying to feed myself. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that is the premise of why what my shop is about, I guess, is that they're high quality pieces, but they are for great prices as well.
Oh,
They're
100%.
not. Yeah.
I mean, I was showing my husband my collection the other day, and I can't remember. I said to him, well, I've roughly spent however much on it. And he looked at me and he went, on rocks. It's like, yeah, but they're pretty.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
right, okay. But I think like that one, I've still got the stickers on the bottom. I've been taking the stickers off. Like that was £19. This little
And that's a really
fella's.
rare one, that one.
Well, this one, I remember it. It was sat at the back, and there was three of them.
Yeah.
And I think this was the middle one, and this one, I think it was this bit. It was just like pinging at me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know what that is, but it's nice." And then I jumped off the live, had to do something with the kids, and I thought, "Oh, I've probably missed it. Well, whatever." And then I was just about to go to bed or whatever I was doing. I thought, I'll pop back on. And then you're like, so yeah, that's that one, and this one is. And then you said the price and I just quickly typed it. And I was like, I got it. Oh my God, I got it. So it was just like,
Yeah.
if I hadn't dropped on at that exact moment when you were showing it, it
was meant
very
to be.
quickly kind of like, this is what it is. This is the price. And I was like, quick thumbs and like going.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know what I've just got, but I'm pleased.
No, that's good. I think it was meant to be, for sure.
100%.
Definitely. Yeah.
So you do, is
Definitely.
it every Friday, or I know you do the
Yeah.
majority of Fridays, don't you?
Yeah. It's the majority of Fridays, so I'd say I'm more on than I'm off. I only take about 5 weeks off a year, I guess.
Mhm.
So basically, every Friday at 7:30 p.m. I go live. Sometimes 5 minutes later if I've had a bit of a busy day. But yeah, so 7:30 p.m. on Fridays, and then so I do so how it works with my shop is I get new things in and I show them on my live first.
Mhm.
So if you want to see anything that I'm promoting on my grid throughout the week, then come along on the Friday and you could have like the first sort of chance to buy it there.
Mhm.
And then after that, if it's available still, it will go on to my stories on the Saturday where you can then have sort of browse through. You don't have to be there at a specific time, obviously. And if you wanted to claim anything from there, then you can just send me a message. And then after that, it goes into the highlights section above my grid,
Yeah.
where like my catalogue of available crystals are. Um, and I'm also, I mean, people are more than welcome to get in touch with me if they have any specific things that they wanted some help with.
Yeah.
So I do sell crystals through DMs,
Mhm.
especially if somebody's asking for, I need a crystal for this reason. Can you help? That absolutely. Please get in touch with me. I'd be more than happy. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer. I've got a toddler that I look after, which is my own child. I look after my child every day, all day. He doesn't go to nursery or anything like that. So I work in the
Yeah.
evening. Sometimes I'm already doing the set things I need to do, and then I'll just try and work around that. So yeah, I promise you I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But
Mhm.
I'm more than happy to the only thing that I don't do is I don't sell the new things through DMs
Mhm.
until after. So if they're available after, that's absolutely fine. You can claim one through that way. But if you see something you like and it's not quite Friday yet, I can't. I feel so awful always telling people I'm so sorry I can't
You've
sell it
got to
yet.
wait.
But
You've
they're
got to
like,
wait.
why not? You want to sell something, right? And I'm like, yeah, but it's just
It's
I
the way
just
you work. You've
yeah,
got to
I
wait for
just
me.
to be fair, it's because I haven't priced anything yet. I haven't actually got organised and know how much it even costs me yet. And
Yeah.
I do that in a process,
Yeah.
so that's usually why. Yeah,
Well, do you know, I think I've learned so much just about crystals.
yeah.
And you explain it really well. What's the message, darling?
And
Well, so
and my shows they're free. You don't have to pay, and you can come
yeah,
along and just
100%.
listen. You don't have to buy anything. It's absolutely fine. I do free giveaways. People can win crystals, and you don't have to have purchased anything. It's just a sort of nice evening to come
Yeah.
along, have a laugh, look at crystals, pull funny faces at these, and just listen to me normally saying something funky or weird because I can't speak properly most
But
of the
it's just
time.
it's just like hanging out. I feel like I'm just hanging out with my mates. Like I don't know half the people that are watching or commenting or anything like
Yeah,
that. I've never met you. But I just feel like I'm in bed on a Friday night hanging out with my mates.
yeah,
That's how I feel.
yeah,
Sometimes I don't buy, but I'm just watching. I think, oh, that's a nice piece, or that's
yeah,
really nice, and
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it's just you can come along, ask questions. That's what it's there for. It's there as like a
Mhm.
kind of a way to be educational, to let you know and talk you through and see the crystals. There's so many fascinating things within them. So
Yeah,
to me, it's like it gives me the opportunity to actually let the crystal sing its praises and show it off in detail, rather than just sticking up a picture and
yeah,
saying that
100%.
this one's a tenner. And it's like
There
I
you go,
feel like
take
it's
it.
a better way to really have a good look at stuff, and then you can keep looking at it and and I go on for 4 hours or long. I mean, we've been going on an hour. I
Yeah.
can go on for hours. So I should probably let you go though. That would be good.
Yeah, I've got to get the two ragamuffins off to bed before they finish destroying the house.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. Like I say, I've learnt loads, and I feel that my bank balance is going to have a little bit of a hit every time I see an amethyst now, because I want one of those.
Oh, bless you.
So
Oh,
hopefully, I might be watching this Friday night. I might not. I'm away, so I might rope the person that I'm in with. Be like, watch, put on, come on, we're
yeah,
gonna watch
just
this
get them
together.
all involved.
100%. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, if anyone's got
Oh,
any
thank
questions,
you.
go directly to you, because I still, you've told me so much information, but I still know nothing. You are the expert on this. So I love it. And hopefully you have a good rest of
Thank
week.
you. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry if anyone was asking any questions as well. I didn't even look at I can't see the comments. So sorry if anyone was asking anything. Please DM me. Feel
Yeah.
free. I'm more than happy to answer.
You're the
But
one
anyway,
to...
other than that, I'll let you go. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking.
Well, have a good week and thank you so
Yeah,
much.
see you later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.